Hi, Kirsin. This is Aziza. I'm the founder of Educasia. Nice to meet you again. We have met through a meetup group here in Bangkok, happening every Friday. I'm very glad to meet you again today. I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Hope you're good too.
Yes, I am fine. Thank you very much. So today we're going to present a bit about Finland, the educational system in Finland as well, and also about your experience as an expat woman in Bangkok, from a Northern Europe woman in Bangkok. And I hope you will enjoy this session with us together. If I may ask you to present yourself.
Okay. My name is Kirsi. I'm from Finland, west of Finland actually. I born there, but live center of Finland about last 25 years. I have a husband, two boys, 22 and 25 years old. Myself, I'm 51 years old.
Okay.
Me and my husband moved here to Bangkok October 2021. So we've been here a little over a year now.
A little over a year.
I'm not working at the moment here, but I was accountant back home in Finland, and when we go back, I have to go work again, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So you're going back to work for a company as an accountant?
Yes.
And you mentioned to me earlier that you were also a chief before.
Yes, I was originally a chef, not like a restaurant chef, but like a more bigger portions, like big schools or something like that. So thousands of portions a day.
Okay, great. So tell us a bit about Finland, about the region you come from in a few words. What is interesting about Finland? Because I've visited Norway and Sweden, beautiful countries. I've never been to Finland. Maybe a bit of words about where you come from.
Actually, like I said, I was born in west of Finland, but lived for the past 25 years in the center of Finland, the city called Jyväskylä. It's not easy to pronounce, I think, in the foreign. I think Finland is, I like living in Finland, and except that it's quite expensive.
Is it more expensive than Bangkok?
Yes, much more.
Okay.
Much more. But we have a clean nature and everything. I think education and healthcare and everything like that is really good in Finland.
Okay. And what can you tell us about the educational system in Finland? Because, you know, if we look at the global ranks, Finland is definitely coming in the very first places, right? What is the secret of Finnish educational system then?
Usually when I tell people that I'm from Finland, they often mention about our education system, and
I think that was one of our first conversations, if I remember. I was curious about
yeah, but now why? Maybe the goodness of the Finnish educational system and its secrets, I think it's been studied a lot by many countries, and of course in Finland also. And the many countries would like to take a model from Finland's functional system, but I don't think the receipt of the success is so simple and easy. There are many areas. But I think that one big difference between Finnish education system and the situation in other countries is equality. Social equality and equality education. Preschool education, comprehensive school and upper secondary education is free, and also higher education is the mostly part free. Free school meals, also healthcare, individual guidance and psychological counseling.
Can I ask you just to go back to the first, what you mentioned at first? You said, can we just explain maybe for the audience, for each point, maybe into more details, like when you're saying equality at school, what does it mean in Finland, for example, if you have a few examples to share with us?
Schools available for everyone. Difference between schools are very small. So children should have the same good level education everywhere, whether they attend a small village school back in north or a big city school in the south. Like that, the school is available for everyone. So that's the equality, that you can get same level of educational no matter where you are, no matter what kind of school you are. So the goal is for everyone to have an equal opportunity to receive high quality education, regardless of the family's income or background. And also the teachers are highly educated, much more than in most countries.
They're highly
teachers, yeah.
Can you give us an example of a standard graduation for a teacher in Finland? Is it a requirement from the state? How does it work?
Yes, teachers' profession always include pedagogical studies, and not just anyone can even do substitutionals these days. So teachers are highly educated. They have all master's degrees, or
and so is it specified in Finland what type of master is it required, or any kind of master is possible, or
it has to be through education? Yes.
And it is mandatory by the government? Is it made mandatory, or is it still nice to have a psychological grade?
I mean that this psychological guidance counseling is provided to children at the school, if necessary.
At the school, all right, okay. In addition to the teachers, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's
so there are different levels of teachers.
Yeah.
There are I don't know, what do you call those that help the children, but they are not the teachers. They don't have the qualification to teach, but they can help the students.
Like educators or something, or
school attendance assistant.
School assistant, okay. And what is the role of the school assistant, Kirsi? I'm just trying to explore with you so the audience also understand the functioning in Finland.
If there are in the class there are children that have some difficulties learning, those help those children, and they can be in the classroom during the teaching and help those children, or then they can help the children after the class.
Or they can help also after class, like for let's say homework or things like that.
They can tutor children after class, or then they can be like sit next to children during the class and help those that have some difficulties of learning.
Okay. Can you explain to us a little bit about the grades in Finland? What is the organization in Finland? Is it different from other countries in Europe or the rest of the world? I also heard that in Finland, school is starting later than in other countries.
Yeah, the primary school, preschool starts when children turn the children turn 6 years, and the school starts when the first grade starts when children are turning 7 years that same year, and we have nine grades.
9 grades from 6 years old, right?
From six, yes, from 6 to 16.
From 6 to 16 years old.
Yeah, but now in 2021, it was changed that you have to have a second level degree, or you have to be 18 years old that you can enter school. So end of 9th grade, you have to apply some school. You can't just skip school. You have to study until you're 18, or you get the second grade degree before that.
So school is mandatory from 6 years old until 18 years old.
Yes.
Okay. And before 6 years old, what our children do? What are they doing?
Go to kindergarten or daycare.
Okay, but it is not mandatory, right?
No. If the mother is home, then the earliest time for children to go is that preschool.
I also heard that the theory behind is in Finland is let a kid be a kid, right? And
yes.
I heard that because of this, let's say, principle in your state, that then the children have the choice to stay more with parents, and the mother also can choose to stay more with the kid until they reach 6 years old. That's interesting. Is it creating a better bond between the parents and the children? What do you think?
I think it does. It does, yes, because in most of countries, parents, especially mother, have to go working quite early stages. But in Finland, we have a maternity leave, and after that, a parental leave. So we can stay home, and that is for both parents. There can either father can stay home with children and mother go to work, or mother stay home and husband works. Or
okay, that is fine, Kirsi. I just wanted to know if you think that because kids are starting later, they then have more time to play, to have fun, and is it participating to what they call happiness at school? Because it is told everywhere that in Finland, kids are happier at school. So maybe they had more time to play, right?
yes, I think so. And the school, I have no. I don't know what kind of schools there are in the world, but I think Finnish schools are quite free, so it's not so strict, and we don't have school uniforms or anything like that.
Okay, because at the moment, what I have noticed is that in the Finnish system, many people are observing that children and students afterwards are happier. They are feeling more fulfilled in the Finnish system compared to other countries in the world. Again, what is the recipe? What is the secret of the Finnish educational system?
Maybe because Finnish educational system, especially elementary school, is also praised for the freedom of choice given by the students. So from the kindergarten to higher education, we have, of course, there are cornerstones of teaching in the different grade levels. But the students are given choices and opportunities to study more of the subjects they want at a very young age. So there are many choices that they can study beside the main cornerstones.
So they can choose what they want to study?
Yes, there are many choices.
And few examples of what they can choose, because at an early stage, perhaps kids are not so aware of what they want to do, maybe they're still searching for themselves, and maybe they're not so sure. And what is it about exactly? What are the choices given to the students in Finland?
Automation, like doing internet by doing using the computers and doing different things with it. And of course there are languages, different languages you can choose quite early stages. So many students at the end of school knows at least 3 languages. Of course, own language, but two foreign language also. And then there are many hand skills, like you say, that you can pick, like cooking or like something like that.
So there are many activities, let's say.
Yes, many activities.
Okay. And why is it said that in Finland there is less homework, even maybe not homework?
I don't know if
still the ranking of Finland is really high in the success ranking, right? How come work less but they perform more?
I don't know if homework is given less in Finland than in other countries, but the main purpose of Finnish education system is to teach students to take responsibility for their own and solution for their own, and the actions study to take responsibility of their own future and their own solution, find the solutions to the problems on their own. And of course, there are many studies to show that the countries that have a lot of homework, the learning results are bigger.
Yeah.
So there are, I don't know, maybe it is especially not when I was in school, it was not so much, but in these days the children have to find themselves the answers so that it's not given to them and they can't just read it somewhere. They have to find the place where to get the answers to the questions.
What are the best elements of the Finnish educational systems? If you have to pick up one, maybe two things that are very outstanding in this system.
I think we don't think it's to be different, but maybe it's for the most part of countries it is because the education is free. That is, I think, the one thing, and it's open for everyone.
Yeah.
Actually, we have to study. It's the law. You have to study.
Okay, and there are as many women as men.
Actually, in Finland, we have this equality law that you have to have the same opportunities given both for women and men, or depending not depending on gender or sex or anything, or religions or anything like that. So it's the equality law.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's also gender equality, of course.
Yes.
Why is this so important, equality in Finland? What is the position of the government?
I don't know why it's so important. Maybe because we are a small country, so everyone have to do everything, I think. But maybe, I don't know, it just is. It's important to us that everyone is equal.
Yeah. And is there anything you would like to share about the position of women in Finland? Because I find it a very woman-oriented country. There are lots of women leaders in Finland, but also, to be honest with you, in the northern European countries. Sweden is a feminist country. Sweden has declared being a feminist country.
Maybe some part, yes, but I don't know. Because of the educational system, women have the same rights than the men. They have opportunities to go to higher places in the work, or as well as the men. So maybe that's the main reason why there are women higher places.
How are the girls, teenagers, raised in Finland?
I don't have any girls, but I think it's quite freely. You don't necessarily, at least in these days, there's not girls things and boys things. Girls can do anything that boys can do, and boys can do whatever girls can do. So I think it's quite equal. Of course, girls play with dolls and stuff like that, and boys play with cars, but it's not strict. If the girls want to play with cars or boys want to play with dolls, that's okay.
There is no gender-based conditioning. That's basically
no.
saying. Yeah. Okay. And how have you been raised yourself, Kirsi?
I was raised actually quite like that. I said my mother was a cleaning lady and my father was a carpenter. So I can do, he taught me pretty much everything I can do back home. I can sew and I can paint and I can build and something like that. But I can also do homeworks and cook and clean. And so it wasn't like girls have to be in the kitchen and boys do what the boys do. But it's I think it was quite free. And now that I think it was, I have choices what to do, and no one told me that I have to do that or I have to go there, that school or something like that.
Okay.
So I have the freedom of choice.
Okay. And is it something quite common in Finland to give students, teenagers, the freedom of choice? Or how do you feel about that?
I think it's good, but of course there has to be some guidance back there so that there are so many choices and so many things you can choose. So they have to have some guidance to, of course, by the parents, but also with the teachers and every adults around that children. And that guidance is necessary for to grown up and to go to do what you want to do. And of course, there are lots of adult students in Finland. Yes. So the student doesn't stop in when you graduate from high school or whatever. So it can continue the rest of your life, it was. I think in my parents' time, if you get some profession, that's the thing you do for the rest of your life. Yeah. But nowadays, you can have many kind of professions and do many kind of work during your career.
And even in parallel, many people have different qualifications, different activities, even volunteering or... Okay, that's true. That's interesting. So that's interesting to have your point of view. How do you raise your boys in Finland?
I think that childhood is quite freely. They can, and in Finland, you can leave your children out and let them go to the neighbors or some place. You don't have to be with them, and it's quite free. In some countries, you can't let your children go out alone. But in Finland, that's quite common, and you even let your baby sleep outside in the cradle, and it's okay. So I think it's quite free childhood. And then, of course, when school starts, it's more like, how do I say it? Of course, there's homework. There is homework still.
Yes, of course.
But after that, there's also the free time. So there are time for friends to tag along and do something with them, with the groups. Mm-hmm. But only that the internet and the gaming is it's not these days. I think that's something that has to change in the future, or something, because children are not going outside anymore so much as before. As when I was young, there was no computers and internet or something like that. So we were out in the nature, but now children are playing in front of the computer or something like that. So they have times that we do these non-computer or non-phones or anything periods, like week or so, like once a month or something like that. There was now no TV, no computer or nothing like that for a week. So we just spent time with each other.
Mhm.
Maybe that is the one thing.
And so what were you doing if you were not using any electronic device? And what were you doing during this free time, for example?
We were playing board games or just going outside and enjoy the nature, or go hiking, swimming. We had a small lake very near where we lived, and of course in winter time there's lots of activities to do also like skiing and downhill skiing and everything doing in the snow. So I think we spent lots of time outdoors.
Okay, I see. What is your experience as an expat woman in Thailand? It's a good question.
There are lots of things I would have done differently now if I would come now in Thailand, and like a year ago.
What
So I think I would go to these groups earlier, because I was already here almost that year before I entered the first group, and maybe to go more, to have more activities and get to know more people. And maybe also travel more, because now I haven't traveled so much.
You mean in Asia? Or
I mean inside the Thailand even.
Inside Thailand, okay. What have you seen in Thailand so far?
Bangkok, of course, many parts and many places, and some small 1 or 2 night travels, like Petsapuri or Katsanapuri a few times, and Koh Samet. But I would like to travel more.
You would like to travel more, okay. And what are your plans and what are you going to do?
Actually, we are going to Chiang Rai end of next month. And I was thinking that maybe I can also take a trip by myself to some island.
Oh, nice.
Because I think we are leaving this summer, so time is running out.
That's what you told me, and I was like, okay, I want to make the video before you leave back in your country, right? You're back to Finland.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was last year 3.5 months back home, and I think that was a too long time to be home, because it was quite hard to get back here and to get the atmosphere and get everything. It was hard, especially when I leave from Finland when the summer was at its greatest. So yeah, but now it's okay. It's okay. I could still be here for a longer time, but I would like to spend summers in Finland.
And how is summer in Finland then?
Sometimes it's good and sometimes not so good. Last summer wasn't so good. It was quite cold and rainy, but in some summers it's quite warm and nice. But you never know. It's not like in Thailand. You pretty much know that every day you open the curtains, there will be sunshine. In Finland, there could be rain or wind or anything.
During summer.
Yeah.
And the days are longer, right? In summer in Finland.
Yes. That is the one thing I miss here. So in summer, the endless night pretty much. So
yeah,
it's always light. Then again, in the winter, it's always dark. So
how is it from the perspective of a Finnish woman to witness other women's culture in Thailand? What is your experience about that?
I think the women maybe are in worse position here than in Finland, and overall the people, especially when I been to the hospital or in the grocery stores, I can see very, very old people working.
Yeah.
So right. Yeah, in Finland that is quite rare. People stay in pension and stop working quite early ages, and
yeah, they don't have social security, so that's
yes, and there are people in the streets, and you rarely see that in Finland, although there are some, but usually they're not from Finnish, they're not Finnish people.
What is the policy of homeless people in Finland, Kirsi?
There are some shelters, and I don't think there are so much homeless people, but of course there are very, very poor people, because Finnish is a very expensive country. But we have quite good social security and also quite good not social security, but the government is supporting those in need. But of course, there are some that are not living in the streets, but have quite bad income.
And actually, I also wanted to know more about what do you think about the position of younger women in Thailand compared to younger women in Finland, in your country?
I think in Finland, they have equal chances to do and study and work as a man. I don't think here is the same.
Do you think it's a question of gender?
Maybe here more, I think.
So what do you think about this discrepancy in Thailand?
Of course, every country has a different situations, and it's the long way to change those things. So I'm just accepting that it is different here. But of course, hope that the situation here and all over the world where women doesn't have the same rights as the men. Hopefully that will change someday, all over the country, all over the world, I mean.
Yeah. What do you think about the education, the level of education of women in Thailand?
I don't know. I don't know many Thai people, and I don't know what is their education level here, or is it hard, or is it expensive to go to school or educate yourself highly here? I don't know about that. Okay. But maybe it's not so easy.
That's also the fact that in Finland, education is free, which is the case in Thailand. So for families, poor families, then it is more difficult to access education. That's what I noticed. Some people can afford to study, and others cannot afford as well to study at the same time. So that creates discrepancies in the society. What else would you like to share with us, Kirsi, about your experience here?
It's nice, but it's sometimes too warm here. Okay. Especially when you're from the Nordic country, and so and in middle-aged women especially, it's sometimes very hot in here. but I like that there's so much to see and so much to experience, and that's why we came here. This is experience. And well, when we go back, we are one experience richer.
Yeah, exactly. But you have saunas in Finland. I heard you really like saunas, and saunas can be very fun, right?
Yes, I think there are more saunas than peoples in Finland.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember in northern countries, you like saunas. You also like to put lights and candles everywhere, especially when it's dark in winter, because it can get very dark very early. I remember that. But anyway, is there anything else you would like to share with us, Kirsi, today about anything related to education, your experience in Thailand, or you know about my activities, right? You know, I'm a jurist and I'm a coach, and I'm supporting also victims of diverse violences. Is there anything you would like to tell us about this, for example?
I don't have that experience so much, so I'm not.
So, there is less violence in Finland?
I don't. Maybe there is also. Maybe that is less, yes, but there is good support networks, and like women that are abused or something like that, there are shelter homes. You can go there with your children or something like that, and of course they help you to get your own home or that. But I don't think it's so big problem than in some countries.
Okay. So violence is not so apparent in Finland. It's not something we can really notice.
No, I don't think so. No, of course you welcome to Finland, and there's also the clean nature that is very important to us. Finnish is the land of 1,000 lakes. We have over 100,000 lakes in Finland.
Yeah.
Yet we are a small country. And then there's also, of course, Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis in the Lapland, and lots of snow in the winter time, and the endless nights in the summertime. And maybe, I don't know, Finnish sisu. How do you explain that in English? We don't give up easily. Maybe maybe that is the one point also why people tell that Finnish are happy country or something like that. We don't complain like little things, and we don't give up. We just try and try and try again.
It's a part of the
Maybe.
culture.
Yeah, I think it is. Yes.
And can you give us an example, please, about what you mean by we don't give up? In which area?
I think in any areas. Like my younger son was a gymnastic in his when he was child, and if he doesn't learn some move or some thing or something, just try and try and try again, and you can fall so many times and get bruises or something, but you just get up and try again.
Awesome. Well, that was it from my side. Kirsi, thank you so much for your time and for sharing all those juicy information. Thank you also for your time as a mother. And well, I will see you soon at the meetup group.
Thank you.
Come. Bye, Kirsi.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Have a nice. Bye.